I have 10 o'clock. I will call the commission meeting to order. If you will rise and join us in the invocation and pledge, please.
Hello, everyone. Heavenly Father, we come to you with peace and kindness in our hearts, Lord, not because we have manifested that, but because you have shown us the way from the beginning to the end. We appreciate your kindness with our hardened hearts, and we ask you to soften them today as we speak to one another, as we try to be kind and respectful. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Okay, hearing none, we will go on to the in-person, which is Dave Sutton.
Dave Sutton, recovery. I've been here before. As far as the drivers go, they're all ready. And this potential passengers can be but they are treated local recovery program. So you just got that discretionary fund. People push that go a long way. Like I was a buddy of mine from Staley. It's $400 from his work. And I'm not maybe they'll pick up the whole tab, or they do the whole tab. But you know, in the end, that money will go back. Works for it. Well, whatever. And so it's sort of like perfect that financial. There's the downside. So. And so I'd like for you for this to be an issue that will be addressed, and at least considered really seriously, because it would help so many people. And being in the recovery community for, the last 4 years, there's also an emotional aspect to it. And recovery, the emotional aspects are really, really important. And if someone feels like they're on their way and they can be independent to some degree, and they don't got to go to the bus stops and be exposed to every drug dealer in town. So I mean, that would, it would be a huge move. And bear in mind that for every one of these people that get straightened up, there's a dozen people around them that also, they're not worried. They're not, it affects a lot of people. Addiction's not just about, the addict itself. So anyhow, I'd like for this to be able to move forward. And, but I really, really appreciate everything that's been done so far. And I hope, again, I hope we can move forward with it. That's all I got.
Thank you. Next, we have Xavier Scott from Lake Floyd.
Esteemed members of the commission, and Mr. Clerk, thank you for giving me a chance to talk, rise before you today in support of Dave. I myself am also in long-term recovery. I work in the recovery space, and I think I can't see how it would be a bad thing for us to look into, take whatever steps we need to see about using some of the opioid funding we've received to help support people in early recovery, to get to that next level of recovery and to move forward and getting past the, whatever demons they were fighting in the past. I think that from my perspective, there are a lot of people who, when they get to that early recovery point in their get through those first 60 days or even, get out of inpatient treatment and get to where they're trying to get into a routine in their lives. A lot of times their work schedule doesn't line up with the bus schedule and they don't have transportation because of, whatever things, adjudications or whatever situation has happened prior to that. And I think this really gives them a good opportunity for us to try to put something like this in place for them to maintain employment and be able to get back on their feet. It becomes somewhat of a feedback loop if they get in a place where they're trying to find work, but they can't work on a schedule that matches up with the buses, or they have so many other things going on in their lives. Considering that we do have this opioid funding from the settlement, I don't know exactly the details of all of it. I do know that it would make more sense if we're able to allocate some of that money for this sort of a program. I think it would be more supportive of people that are trying to get their lives in order. I know it would definitely be a big resource for me working where I do as a peer support specialist. One of the biggest hiccups we come up against is people's ability to get from point A to point B. It's just hard to do anything in the world today without a vehicle or without transportation. And of course, there comes back a certain level of personal responsibility. I'm not denying that people have made decisions in their past that maybe got them in the place that they're in, but all we can do is move forward. And I heard a quote the other day, I think that resonated with me, that kind of helps with this. They say that you judge a society by how it treats the least fortunate of its people, not the most fortunate. And I think this would really go a long way towards showing that we're trying to do the best we can for the people that, maybe need it the most in our community. And so I think Dave said it well. I think this is a thing that we could really, if I don't know the next steps, but I'd like to be here to be in support of him and to step up in any way I can to help support moving this forward. I think that it would be a good thing. I think there are a lot of people in the community, in my experience, in the space that I work in, that would be overjoyed and could really use the help. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Lynette Gain.
Hello, thank you for letting me talk today. I'm here about the Summit Park Fields and the West Virginia Girls Softball League. We came here it was almost 3 years ago, with the agreement that we would get the fields, all 3 fields, and be able to have a complex out there for just softball. There's not very many places in this county, if any places in this county, that is just dedicated to softball. A lot of people have to go underneath the umbrella of baseball leagues, where baseball-minded people are just about baseball. So the girls will get 1 field for 5, 6, 7 teams. So I decided to take it and go to Summit Park, where we agreed that we could have those and the girls would have a place to call their home. I've ran into some roadblocks lately with, we didn't have any electricity last season and the girls had nowhere to use the bathroom. Somebody came in and cut all of it off. And I lost hundreds of dollars in the concession stand because of that. And not being able to use my concession stand to bring money back into the league. We put a batting cage up. I realize now maybe I should have asked, but I didn't know that that was something that we needed to do. We will put it up because we have tournaments coming out on the weekends with 10 to 12 teams. And it's important when you have a tournament for the teams when they're not playing to have somewhere to warm up their girls and practice with them. That was my bad. So today I'm asking that maybe we can get that voted that we can keep that since we have a tournament this weekend. And I just want to kind of like put personal feelings and politics aside and think about what we're doing. I'm out there for the girls. That's it. I don't need anybody to know that I'm even the president of the league or the founder of the league. I don't care about that. To give the girls an opportunity like the boys have. I have a son who played baseball and he has so many opportunities and so many nice places to play. And then I started coaching my daughter in softball and noticed that they don't have anything. They don't have anything near what the boys have. And it's all I wanted to do was bring that to these girls and they've been happy there. They've been very happy at these fields. So I'm just asking that we keep the original agreement of having 3 fields and helping these girls out in this community. That's all I have. Thank you.
Kenny Hall.
Thank you, guys. I'm here to speak on behalf of Summit Park softball field and with Lynette Gaines. My name's Kenny Hall. I'm a licensed general contractor in the state of West Virginia, and I also own Central West Virginia Elite, which is a sports organization where we hold tournaments. And I'm also a coach of a Lewis County rec team and coach of the Central West Virginia Elite Bandits. I met Lynette last fall. We were looking for a complex in order to have a softball team with a goal of recruiting girls from the central part of West Virginia, creating a softball team, and going to the World Series, which we were doing in August. Lynette and I talked. She was mentioning that we could use the complex, and I wanted to show my gratitude, and I let her know that anything and everything she would need to get that 3rd field built, I would do at completely free. As long as the city supplied materials, I will build, excavate. I will do whatever it takes to make that happen because she has been gracious enough to allow us to use the complex 3 days a week for practice, and we hold tournaments on the weekend. Our last tournament last month was a huge success. We had 12 teams from 3 different states come in. We had over 700 people each day. So we had right around 1,500 people in 2 days. We had 3 food trucks show up at the tournament. All 3 food trucks sold out. When the electric and the concession stand is up and operational at that complex, my full intention is to have all food be sold out of that concession stand and all profits go back to the league. I don't want any money out of the concession stand. I want all of that to be funding for Summit Park to get their fields built, maintenance, electric, trash, whatever it takes. That's all money that can be geared towards this. With 1,500 people at a field in softball, you will easily spend $10 a person at a concession stand, at least, bare minimum. If there's 1,500 people, spend $10 in a weekend, 10 to 12 grand profit's pretty good, in my opinion. That would go a long way to get fencing built. And of course, I've got contacts where I've got a contractor that can supply and install the fence cheaper than I can buy the material. And he'll supply material and install it. I will donate all equipment, excavator, skid steer. I will donate all labor for crew. I will donate all labor for installation, and I will make that 3rd field happen. All I ask is that we continue to, the Bandits get to continue to use that field for practices. My 10 girls, I mean, it's not an exaggeration to say this is literally making a dream come true for these kids to be able to compete at this level and be able to go to the World Series in Columbus in August. It's honestly, it's life-changing for these kids. It's been a blessing for me as a father. I have 2 daughters. There's nowhere in my county that is strictly softball oriented like this. There's nowhere.
Wrap it up, sorry.
Sorry, man. There's nowhere in this county that is softball oriented like this either. So I just feel like what Lynette's trying to do and what I'm trying to help with would go a long way for softball in this county. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at 10:05, we have a nuisance property hearing with Judith Russell and Delisa Pearson. Is that correct? You can. Is, Russell and Delisa Pearson. We contacted them back in October, and they were cleaning it up, we were in touch. They have. That's not working either.
They have since then dropped off and not done anything for the last couple months. We have asked them, like, we've been very patient with them, just let us know what's going on, keep us updated. And then that stopped, and things are not getting done. There are several buildings out there that needs to be done. There's a truck that needs to be hauled off. There's garbage all over the property. There's metal, like piles of metal everywhere. I don't know where to go at this point.
Would you like to speak to?
Yes, thank you.
Would you identify yourself?
I'm
please?
sorry, I'm Delisa Pearson. That's my mother, Judith Russell. We were notified in October of last year. And I had spoken to Mr. Grubb on many occasions at that point. And on one of the phone calls, he had been amazed as to how much work had actually been
Who
done.
did you speak to? I'm sorry, I didn't catch.
I'm sorry, Mr. Grog?
Andy.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm sorry, I only
That's
know him
okay,
by that
that's okay.
name. I had been trying to work on the property for some time because I have a mandate from God to clean that up before they even notified me. So all that did was perhaps have some people that had the equipment to come out and help me because of the notification. So in some ways, I gave thanks to God that this notification helped to get help to do things. But I will, like I said, and I'm sorry, my voice is shaking. I'm not good at public speaking.
All right, take your time.
When I spoke to Mr. Grog on October 29th, he had said that he was absolutely amazed with the amount of work that had been done. And I do have the photographs of that early work here. Would you like me to pass these around? I have them
We
labeled
have-
by dates and stuff.
Somebody else wants to see.
The very back photographs are how it looks today.
You can
In
present
which
this if you
nearly
want.
all the metal is gone. I can just give you the ones that are for today, that were taken. But throughout the process, the last time I spoke with Mr. Grog, we were actually at the Cancer Infusion Center in Morgantown. There've been a lot of medical issues. But on November 25th was the last time I spoke with him. I had asked him if there was any grants or anything that I could apply for to get help, because most people were donating their time, and you'll have letters in front of you. Some neighbors have commented as to the amazement of how much work's been done on the property. A friend from church has offered to every second Saturday take my trailer, because I don't have a vehicle that can haul, but to take it to Bridgeport Free Dump Day. Mr. Christie is the one on the 29th of October through the 11th of November, was working there, tearing down trees, removing trees that had fallen onto my camper, and onto the trailer there. There was an amazing amount of work done, yes, as she said, prior to November. On November 25th, when I spoke with Mr. Grog, he said that he knew winter was coming and he didn't expect to have anything done until springtime. I continued to go over there personally by myself. Every single week, I had 7 bags of garbage down at the trash and actually extra built up. Sometimes there were 30 bags waiting to go down for the next week's pickup because I had no way to haul. And on March 24th was when we received notice of this hearing. And I was surprised because he had said that he didn't expect to hear of any movement or anything on there of any great measure until springtime. And as you all remember, March 16th, we had a heavy snow. So there wasn't really any way for me to move heavy equipment or move anything large. As far as the pile of scrap, which I have photos of it that she's talking about, when Mr. Christie was cleaning up the property, we chose a center area. This is 4 acres of land for one, and I do this mostly walking the land myself. But on the, Mr. Christie used his, I forget what it's called. I call it just like a Swedish knife crafter. It's got every little tool on it. But he had dragged all of the wood, all of the scrap metal, everything into a central pile. And he told me it would be best to call a scrapper in after we had brought everything into one single pile. And that's what I was waiting on. March 24th, I did call a scrapper because we were notified of this hearing. And like I said, it has been ongoing. The neighbors will tell you, they see me there every day, but I'm one person with 2 hands, no tractor, no heavy equipment, no anything. I drag what I do with a blue tarp. That all that metal is now gone because God bless some people that they came in. They've already taken 9. Mr. Charlie Flanagan has already taken 9 loads of scrap out. For the cost of the scrap, he's just taking it out for me. He has written a letter to you telling you that the intent is this Thursday or next Monday, he will come with torches to break down the old red Ford truck. Because it can't be just hauled out of there. It's going to have to be broke down. But his wife, I pray that she's doing well, has surgery today. And so he's not been able to work on it this week. But he has written that he intends on taking that and taking the camper that was destroyed by the tree out of there. So there has been ongoing plans. She is correct. I did not reach out to Mr. Grog because forgive me, I'm on the spectrum, I'm autistic, and I take things literally. And when he said he did not expect to hear from me until spring, my brain says, okay, I'm not going to call him till spring. So that was my own misunderstanding of the situation. And when I did call, when I received this notice, I was met with some negativeness. And I'm sorry, it was not my understanding until spring to contact him based on the conversation. Now, that may just be my lack of understanding the conversation. Like I said, I take things in a literal way. But he said that no work had been done for 4 weeks. Well, the week before had snowed, but there were still 7 bags of garbage at the end of the road. I have been there every single week, never stopped. I'm just not able to make visible large changes because I am the only person working that land, except for those dates of the people who have come forth to help me. But as you can see, if you've seen those pictures now, there is no scrap piles there left. There is still some more scrap that I need to gather up with the big truck and the camper. That is a wood pile. And I have, if it will work, my creative thought, I don't know, throw things against there. Again, that is wood and tires there, not metal. And my intent for the wood pile is to either contact West Milford Volunteer Fire Department or Jangling Fire Department once we have all the wood at the end of the cleanup, invite them to a cookout, donate to their volunteer fire department, and have a controlled burn of the rest of the wood. So it's all centralized in this one pile. But as far as the metal, like I said, I've got a scrapper that's been working with me. Christy will be coming out with his bigger equipment once that stuff is moved out. I've been blessed with people to come and help because we do not have money. We do things by hand. So. But like I said, I have 60 more pictures if you want to see from where it was from the beginning to each stage of progress and the dates in which they were done. But yes, at one time, and we have been dealing with sabotage a lot. Easter Sunday, I left sunrise service and went to the farm, and somebody had chosen to destroy my mailbox and scatter all my mail across the land. I have pictures of that too. Was an accident, impossible, because the newspaper box that was sitting right next to it with the metal post was unharmed, undamaged. But the mailbox itself was destroyed in 4 places. And the big heavy mailbox was 5 feet from where it was with the mail across the land. And this isn't the first time people have sabotaged things there. There are some people that do not like the idea that I am wanting to. Basically, I tell people I've had a mandate from God. I eventually will get cleaned up to grow food so that I can donate it to God's people to eat. And that is the plan for the farm. And I don't know what else I can.
It's okay. It does appear that she has made, it's taken a while, but it does appear that she's made some headway, and she, I mean, from these letters, she does have some help.
And
She
again,
had
like I
plenty
said,
of-
I apologize. I took it literal when he told me he didn't expect anything to be done till spring. So I stopped making the calls, but I had 7 phone calls from October to November. I have the list of every time that I talked to him. So I apologize that I did not reach out past November. I was waiting for spring, literally.
Okay. Do you have any recommendations?
Just keep in touch. I mean, if you've got that going on, that's great. Just keep in touch with us.
This other stuff. I'm giving her 30, 60 days. 30, 60 days, 90 days? What do you think?
It's up to you. 90 days.
Does anybody want to make a motion to that effect?
Yeah.
Motion is to give her 90 days to get what she has left cleaned up, correct? Cleaned up.
May I ask for like a directive of exactly what they're looking for? Because I believe what I'm looking for is far more than what they're looking for as far as the cleanup. So I want to know what they are looking for.
Okay, I'm looking to you as they, right now.
We're looking for the buildings to be gone. They're all falling in. The trailer to be gone, truck to be gone, the garbage to be gone.
You're talking about the home over there to take our home down.
Nobody
We're
lives
working
in
on
it.
trying
and-
to remodel it to live again.
Okay, then we need to get in touch with Robert, and Robert needs to go over and check it out, make sure that it is okay. Or what needs to be done to rehab it,
Okay.
because right now it's unlivable.
Okay, so we're gonna take your lead. Actually, you want it cleaned up,
Yes.
done. Okay. Is there any further discussion, or is there any discussions or questions of either one of these two? From you two? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
motion carried. Okay. Okay, 10:10, we have a proclamation for Foster Care Awareness Month. Whereas children and youth are the most valuable resource of the state of West Virginia. And every child deserves a safe, stable, and nurturing home. And whereas during Foster Care Awareness Month, we recognize the resilience, strength, and potential of children and youth in foster care throughout West Virginia. And whereas there are hundreds of children and youth in West Virginia who are in need of safe, loving, and supported foster families. And whereas foster parents, kinship caregivers, and adopted families play a vital role in providing stability, hope, and healing to children who have experienced trauma, neglect, or abuse. And whereas the National Youth Advocate Program works diligently across West Virginia to recruit, train, and support foster families while providing comprehensive services to children and families in need. And whereas NYAP is committed to strengthening families, preserving connections, and ensuring that youth have the resources, advocacy, and permanency they deserve. And whereas community awareness, partnership, and engagement are essential to meeting the ongoing need for foster parents and ensuring positive outcomes for children and youth in foster care. Now therefore be it resolved, that the Harrison County Commission does hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Foster Care Awareness Month. Be it further resolved, Harrison County Commission encourages all residents to recognize the important role foster parents, kinship caregivers, child welfare professionals, and community partners, such as the National Youth Advocate Program, play in improving the lives of children and families across the state. Passed by the Harrison County Commission of West Virginia, the 6th day of May 2026. Thank you so much.
Voice, but thank you all. Thank you, Commissioner, very much for this. It means more than just the paper it's printed on to us. You know, it's a commitment just for you guys, not only recognizing the roughly about 6,000 children across the state, but also the parents that help, love, and provide for their biological families. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for what you did.
Thank you.
I think somebody's up next. We see who it is. Community Educational Outreach Service. Oh, yes. I don't know if that long, but.
You should be very familiar with us, but
I don't, but I have to say yours.
CEOS, yes.
Never hear it.
People don't know who we are by CEOS.
Oh, and I'm not sure they may. Sorry, no, you're all right. I knew who you were. I see you. Whereas, as the West Virginia Community Educational Outreach Service, CEOS, and Harrison County CEOS are volunteers whose mission is to broaden public service in our communities for the betterment of all its citizens and society as a whole. And whereas, working in partnership with the WVU Extension Service, members of the Harrison County CEOS strive to strengthen the lives of individuals and families in Harrison County through continuing education, leadership development, and community involvement. And whereas throughout West Virginia, more than 3,000 CEOS members make substantive contributions to their communities in numerous ways, including, but not limited to, supporting education by raising money for college and grade scholarships, assisting schools by volunteering in literacy programs, nurturing healthy lifestyles by sponsoring health fairs and breast cancer awareness programs, and helping sustain communities by assisting with flood relief, stocking food pantries, and beautifying public spaces. And whereas to ensure that the West Virginia CEOS organizations continue to meet the individual and collective needs of the residents of our rural and urban areas, we must support in every possible way the vital mission of these organizations so that their continued success is assured. Now therefore be it resolved that the Harrison County Commission does hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through May 23rd, 2026 as Community Education Outreach Service Week.
There you go.
All right. Be it further resolved that the Harrison County Commission recognizes their significant service and contribution to the well-being of family and community, passed by the County Commission of Harrison County, West Virginia, the sixth day of May, 2026.
Well, you know, I always have something, it's not your first rodeo, but I really appreciate everything that the commission does in support of us. And our organization really tries very hard to be involved in the community, do things for the community. When we see a need, we try and fill it. We've got a lot of people who are crafty people. We do things with the volunteer fire departments, the VA. We're very active with the veterans organizations. And we just, if you find a need that you need some help with, we're more than willing to help. In fact, hopefully we can get involved in the grand opening of the new terminal at the airport for OB to be involved with that if there's something they are gonna do with that. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him, catch up with him. But I want to thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Don't ask me why I didn't bring all three of these in. Trying to get my steps in. Mental Health Awareness Month. And this is, I think, the third time we've had three proclamations. Oh, thank you. Whereas mental health challenges affect a portion of the population in Harrison County, reflecting broader statewide and national trends. And whereas recognizing Mental Health Awareness Month reminds us that no one should have to face these challenges alone. And whereas increasing awareness and understanding helps break down stigma and create space for honest conversations and healing. And whereas mental health is a vital part of overall well-being, influencing how individuals connect, work, and engage in their communities. And whereas passion, education, and supportive environments empower individuals to seek help and care for their mental health. And whereas access to meaningful employment, inclusive spaces, and community connection can provide purpose, stability, and a sense of belonging. And whereas the West Virginia Division of Rehabilitation Services supports individuals with mental health conditions and other disabilities in building independence and pursuing employment. And whereas the local organizations such as Job Squad and the ARC of Harrison County help foster inclusion and opportunity for individuals with disabilities, including those with mental health conditions. And whereas when a community chooses to understand connection, it creates a place where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Harrison County Commission does hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month. Be it further resolved that the Harrison County Commission encourages all residents to come together in support of mental health awareness, compassion, and care throughout our community. Passed by the County Commission of Harrison County, West Virginia, the sixth day of May 2026.
Hi, my name is Jess Williams. I work with ARC. This is Brian, advisor, to the vocational programs director at ARC Harrison County. We just wanted to try to bring awareness to mental health issues in our state, our communities. And we thank you guys for being supportive of our want to bring awareness.
You're welcome. Thank you for your.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, number 2 on the agenda is the consent agenda. What's the pleasure? Motion to approve consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 3, payroll change notices A through F. Motion to approve A through F. Is there any discussion? Are the Parks and Rec part-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that was my only question. Okay. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 4, we have minutes and or amended minutes of previous meetings. Looks like we only have one from April 1st. Motion to approve 4A. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 5, requisitions, purchase orders, and invoices. We have A, B, and C. What's the pleasure?
You wanna go one at a time?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
That's fine.
and B, C.
Yeah, that's fine. That's it. Okay, motion is to approve A, 1, 2, and 3, and B and C. Is there any discussion? I was looking at one. No, it's a credit card. And the domain name, and I don't know, is flyckb.com. I mean, it's only $14.55. I was just curious what that is. Do you know?
I don't.
Okay, I just wanted to, somebody can figure out what that is.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Was that a Visa statement?
Huh?
Was that a Visa statement?
No, it's
You know?
US Bank. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 6, we have exonerations, corrective tickets, joint property applications. We have none, it appears, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Number 7, review, discuss, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2008A Charles Point Project Number 2 Northland Bay improvements for $4,083.33. What's the pleasure? Wait a minute, no, 4,000. I'm sorry, 4,000. Okay, the motion is to approve 7A for $4,083.33. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, motion carried. Number 8, review, discuss, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 A and B bonds issued for the Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District in the amount of $7,935.25. What's the pleasure? Motion to approve 8A for $7,935.25. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Number 9, review, discuss, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from the proceeds of the Series 2021 A and B Development District Number 3 White Oaks Project Number 2 for $250. What's the pleasure? Motion to approve 9A for $250. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 10, review, discuss, consider orders as presented by the clerk. Appears we have none. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Number 11, review, discuss, consider budget revisions for general county and vital services.
Madam President, we have both general county and vital services.
What's the pleasure with the budget? Motion to approve budget revisions A and number 11, A and B. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. None, motion carried. Number 12, review, discuss, consider structures and improvements to Summit Park.
It seems that the commission has lost control of Summit Park. Structures are appearing without our permission. Been issues with the leasing of that ballpark since day one. First lease wasn't followed. We did not take care of the property. It did not fulfill the lease. We revoked that lease, opened a new lease. And now we take care of 100%. It seems whatever they asked us, mission, some reason, lets them do whatever they want without any consequences. I find that, during our first lease, they kept the park closed, public, kept the gates locked. Bought that 6-7 months, and got their own personal feuds. They still think it's their own personal feuds. It is a county park. You all entered into an agreement for use, not to be the boss. The agreement that you all entered into, I have asked staff if we've ever gotten your liability insurance copy today, and how long have you been operating without getting to that? You had a timeline to get that to us, but those timelines don't seem to matter to you or your group. Are you up to date with the Secretary of State's office? As of this week, you were. Even shows a organization. You use the park's address for your organization of where your organization exists. You use Summit Park. Again, you might want to look at the documents that you don't. So I appreciate what you all do, but it is the county's park. It is the county's discretion on what happens. I can't speak for the other two, but it seems we've gone off the rails when it comes to what you think that you can do at the park and what's being allowed to be done at the park. And we're at a loggerhead as far as I'm concerned on continued use. You have not fulfilled the latest agreement that you have signed. So I'm okay with giving you a second chance, but it is a county park. It is not your softball league's park. Summit Park gave it to us for use as a park and a softball field. If my two commissioners would like to return the park to the Summit Park Association, and then you all buy it from them, I'll make that motion now, and we'll just get out of that place. Because we don't have any control, it seems, over what the destiny of that park is. So I'm not asking for the commission to make any action on it today. I just want to make sure it's clear it's a Harrison County park and not a softball rec park. It's not your park. And that you need to understand that we're going to use it. The public's going to use it. The public wants to go out and have a softball game on it. It's going to happen. And if that's not what this commission wants, then I take it back, I will make a motion. I'm going to make a motion. Are we going to use Summit Park as a county park for vote today to turn it all control over to West Virginia girls softball, and we're no longer responsible for maintenance, utilities, because we pay the utilities for you all. You guys don't have a thing in it. You're out there making money. He just said how much you're gonna be able to make off concessions. Did we run electricity for you all? Yes. Wasn't for us. Didn't have a thing to do with us. So my motion is to turn over Summit Park to West Virginia Girls Softball Association, and that our attorneys sign a lease and that we're not responsible for any of that. Because that's the way it's working. Let's call the vote.
You all right with that? Okay, the motion's been made to turn the softball fields over to the,
No, ma'am, I said Summit Park, not softball.
oh, excuse me.
The park.
Excuse me. I just, no, I'm not even gonna, I'm not.
Everything. Basketball, playgrounds, park.
Did you hear?
I said you were responsible for everything at the park. That's utilities, playground equipment, everything. We're out of it. That's in the park.
Okay.
We're gonna be responsible for cutting grass, everything. Are you sure about that? Okay.
Okay.
So my concern is there are covenants in the deed into the commission that we have to make sure are honored when the county took the property over from the Summit Park group. I was trying to log in remotely to look at the deed, but power's out on the other side of town, so I'm told. But that's my concern. I would like to look at that because I believe the covenants do involve both a park use for the public benefit of the citizens of the county. So I'm concerned that turning it over might infringe upon the covenants, and we'd have to talk to the Summit Park Foundation about that. Questions?
So do we want to bring it back for the next meeting?
Man, one call vote.
Would you be okay? I'm just asking this question. Please, may I ask a question, Your Honor? Would you be willing to let still let the community or anybody who wants to use the park and the pavilion? Okay, just want to make sure that's clear, if we can even do this. So, I mean, we're not giving it to you, is my understanding. We're going to let them use it for their softball league.
Sign an exclusive lease.
Okay, to sign it.
You're out and I'll support it financially.
Okay.
It's costing us money in no return. And our citizens don't get to use it.
Yeah, it's been sitting there for I don't know how many years and nobody's used it. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Hearing none, motion carried. Okay. Number 13, review, discuss, consider letter to the West Virginia Alcohol Beverage Control Administration for Lost Creek Farms Ventures at 104 Sunrise Road, Lost Creek, West Virginia, 26385. What's the pleasure? I guess I'll make a motion to approve the letter to the West Virginia Alcohol Beverage Control Administration for Triple Crown Mobile Bar Rentals, 1203 Hinkle Lake Road, Bridgeport, West Virginia, 26330. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Please note that I believe he's at least left for now. Mr. Hinkle. Okay, number 15, review, discuss, consider awarding the bid for the roof replacement for the sheriff's office at 609 West Main Street.
Madam President, as requested, we went out to bid for the roof replacement for the sheriff's office. We received several bids in. The highest scoring one was Lee Rieger Fields on our score sheet in the amount of $53,698.
Is that the only one we had?
No.
I don't have anything.
There's several different ones. Unfortunately, Danny couldn't be here this morning to discuss them. I'll be
Is-
honest, I'd rather just
Okay.
table this until he can.
Is it
actually
something
speak.
that can wait
Is that a
to?
little bit?
Well, that's not necessarily the low bid.
Maybe.
That was the high scoring on
Or
that.
maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Is it something that can wait for 2 weeks?
Most definitely.
So you would rather, you know,
I would rather. the
has he
Director of
looked at
Maintenance-
these or?
Yes, he actually.
Okay, he may have some comments he wants to make.
Yes.
Danny, you- Okay, so can we make sure that that gets placed on, you okay with that? Okay, the next agenda. Okay, review, discuss, consider update from Amy Wilson with the Harrison County Economic Development Corporation. You're up.
Commissioners, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to provide this update. I do have just a couple handouts. Approach the bench.
Yeah, sure.
Mike Queen, I don't know if Mike, you wanted to stand up, who is the representative, the county commission representative on the EDC board.
Thank you, sir.
Again, thank you for your time and support. I'll keep this brief. I know it's a long meeting. I don't want to add to that. The Economic Development Council for the state of West Virginia, which is the West Virginia Economic, which we call it the West Virginia EDC, does get confused with our EDC. However, I'm a representative on that board. We represent 6 counties. It's a region. And we just held a conference in September, which you were all invited to. I think you two both attended as well. We were able to spotlight Harrison County. And what this happens is you spotlight certain areas of the county, or the state, different regions. Most of the time, it's several counties together. We put in for our region, for Region 6, and it was requested by this group that we do just Harrison County with everything we had going on. So it was a 3-day event. We had a record attendance of 300 people. We had 28 speakers that were there, and it was record sponsorship as well. So that was a huge win for Harrison County. It was a great opportunity for us to talk about economic development, talk about what we do here in Harrison County, and showcase the area to the rest of the state. You were also sponsors of that, so I appreciate that as well. I attended the National Business and Trade Show in Nevada, and that was in October. I went with the Department of Commerce. They invited us to attend this trade show with them, as well as invite our companies. Those in attendance here from Harrison County were North Star Technologies. We had a West Virginia State booth, MHIRJ, KCI Aviation, and EMS, which is Emergency Systems Management Systems. This opportunity to market our aviation industry, specifically the companies, the education, and the airport, which was a high-tech county specifically, our available sites, Aerotech Park and Harrison Regional. With that, we now have 2 prospects that we're currently working on. Sometimes even a lead is a win for a trade show. To have 2 actual prospects that turned into not only the leads, but actual prospects that are looking to locate in Harrison County was again a huge win, and we thank the state of West Virginia for allowing us that opportunity. While we were there, we were able to also market healthcare, energy, aerospace, high-tech, WVU, and the FBI Criminal Justice, which is the cluster. And that is the largest cluster that we have aviation technology in 5 states. So it's not just aviation, it is high tech and business cluster that we're able to market. We've been working with several, as well as the county, several data centers and this AI movement that we've had over the past year. I think it was about a year ago in August that they attended a couple of meetings for the Development Authority. Since then, we've reached out to the state of West Virginia, who has a specific division for this. There's also legislative action on this. Every single county has been contacted for these data centers. We now have more information now than what we did in August. Can't say that any of us are experts to speak on that, but we're hearing things left and right that they're looking all over. We're trying to put ourselves in place to prepare for that. It started out with 100 acres. We've heard up to 500 acres. Again, it's just getting a handle on what this means for Harrison County, what we have to offer, and then what do we want to see at the end of this. So we'll continue to work with the Development Authority on that. Some of the company updates I want to provide. It was a combined project, the Wolf Summit, and it was announced just recently, the combined natural cycle power plant gas for the Wolf Summit. This project, the groundbreaking was like anything I've ever seen. It wasn't something a company coming in, and it's a 10, 12-year process in working with everyone, but that groundbreaking alone gave credit to everybody. So this is truly an economic development project that included everyone and then turned around and gave credit back to everybody else. And that includes the county commission, the development authority, the city of Clarksburg. It's going to be a huge project for this entire state. So a huge win for all of us. WVU United Hospital Center, the $48 million outpatient surgery center expansion, housing projects throughout the county. We created the Build West Virginia district, which includes Doddridge, Lewis, and Harrison a couple years ago. And that's either a 3 million or a 6-unit investment. So you qualify if you have a project that's $3 million or 6 units, either way. And we in Harrison County, they're capitalizing on at least 4 projects that we know of so far, which is great. That was the whole intent. And that's to grow housing. Terminal is complete. I'm sure you are all aware. October, it should be open. KCI Aviation had a groundbreaking of a $16 million, 30,000 square foot hangar, which is part of a planned 80,000 square foot project located in Cocoolus Way. Chuck is also the Chairman's Champion Award for the Economic Growth and Development coming up at the Chamber annual dinner on May 20th. Pierpont Aviation School, finally moving along. I'm sure you're updated as well. It's going to be a huge asset for the area. I know our companies are reaching out left and right saying we have waited for this for a long time. And it's not just our companies in this aviation cluster. It's going to be for the entire state. We did a presentation about 3 weeks ago, and the estimation that we had was around $350 million in projects that are underway in Harrison County. And that does not include the Wolf Summit at the time. So that's a huge win for us. We continue to be one of the fastest growing regions, fastest growing counties in the state.
Can you tell us what those are?
The projects? Oh, I can send you a list where we have the numbers. Yes. That includes the infrastructure projects that are ongoing, the housing projects that are ongoing, the expansion. And then there are a lot of projects that aren't even visible. Some of our internal companies are doing expansions. So we attached all of those as just projects underway for $350 million. So yeah,
You all had some hand in these?
We did,
Okay.
yes. So with the retention or relocation or just incentives in general. Again, a lot of the internal expansions that they're doing, hate to throw some of the companies out there like Hef Photonics or Stockmeyer Urethane. You're not going to visually see those, but internally it's sometimes a 2-year process.
And I get things move slowly. I understand.
Yeah.
We're government, so you know.
What's that?
We're government. We know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's all right. The Yes West Virginia program. So a couple years ago, Mike Graney with the state of West Virginia had a program that was developed for site readiness to have West Virginia be able to compete with other states when sites are ready. When you have a prospect, they want to land in this area. They are doing their due diligence. They would like the numbers, they like the workforce, the quality of life, healthcare, education. We want to locate here. We need a site. We don't typically have a list of sites that are site certified and ready to go, turnkey, ready to pull a permit. So the state of West Virginia said, we're a very rural state. We need to help some of these communities and counties get these sites that are ready. We are extremely lucky. We submitted on the first round, 2 of those sites, which the maximum was 2. Second round went in 5 sites. 3 of ours were narrowed down and 2 were awarded $75,000 for site preparation. And that's the Spelter site and the Harrison Regional Industrial Park. RFIs, you've heard me talk about that before, requests for information. Those are the prospects. Those are coming in pretty much weekly. And we saw from October to February, the largest amount of RFIs for land. We typically get the requests for buildings. They're looking for a 50,000 square foot building. A company's looking for a 20,000 square foot building. They'll have certain docks that they need, different specs, and a mile from the interstate. But the land requests were the highest that we've ever seen since incorporated, of just looking at either a 10-acre parcel or a 100-acre parcel. There was no range. There were a
Does it have
few
to
in
be flat?
between. Well, West Virginia flat. It needs to,
That's not flat.
no. And some of those
I'm
in
just
those,
asking, you know how I am.
No,
You know,
I
we haven't
appreciate
flat
it.
either.
and some of the requests, when they say land, it would typically be, we need 10 acres. And
Got that.
no details of what that 10 acres looks like. 100 acres, of course, we're not going to have it flattened, have already developed. We really don't have the sites that are there. But they'll ask for greenfields, they'll ask for brownfields, they'll ask for site certifications. Some of those we have. The majority of them we don't, especially in the 100-acre. But what we do, and I have Luis Ramirez here, who's the economic development assistant in the office. He handles all of our property inventory. In the beginning, that was, every month you try to look over the properties, you talk to developers, landowners, see what we have to build our inventory. Since then, it's become sometimes a daily process to make sure that it's up to date. Working with realtors, working with property owners that are not willing to have their property on site or available on the website to market. They may have a building and it may be leased. They want it in our inventory if an RFI comes in, but they do not want that publicly advertised because they're not necessarily selling or leasing at the time unless the right tenant comes in. So we have a few of those in the county. Luis makes sure that he works with those constantly. Some of those that you would never even dream of selling, even the property owner wasn't dreaming of selling until you have the right prospect. And then there's a price tag on it. It's available, it's ready to sell, it's ready to market, and then you have a business that's either expanding or relocating. He also works with the surrounding counties. We have a regional meeting every 2 months to make sure that we cover some of their inventory. So if we are putting together an RFI for a very large company, it's coming in from, let's say, New York, or some of the ones I'll talk about in other countries that want to locate here. If we can't meet their needs, we want to make sure that our surrounding companies, we have with our surrounding counties, we have their information to make sure that we can submit to this RFI. A lot of us are one-person shows. I'm lucky enough to have 2 in my office. The other counties have pretty much a one person. So we rely on everybody else to work together. Brownfields grant. We still have a $500,000 countywide assessment grant. We're currently up to 38 sites from around the county. On the list, we have 9 actively being assessed for further development. That's huge for us. We really thought our goal would be to have the 3 that we submitted, possibly 5, but 9 that are under development, which was awesome. Once we are 75% spent on that Brownfields assessment grant, we're going after another one. 21 of those 38 sites do fall in and around the city of Clarksburg. Business assistance. A lot of what we do is business assistance. I think when we were incorporated, the goal was to be manufacturing large scale Landis to Toyota. That's not what we're doing. We try to, of course, and we do work with a lot of the manufacturing and the large companies that are here. But a lot of our time goes into just general business assistance. And business, sometimes even a small business, can be 100 employees. We see it as large here, but it's technically a small company when you're looking at some of the larger ones. Our business assistance includes a startup, expansions, relocations. We've been working on business plans, resources, tax incentives, grants, processing, and then relocation, a lot of relocation. We had 3 yesterday that were looking for less than 5,000 square foot spaces in Harrison County. 4,993 number of businesses were in 2025, which is a 12% growth increase for Harrison County. 225 are the new businesses just since January of this year. We also have the Tank Entrepreneur Contest that Luis and I both work with the Chamber of Commerce. It'll be held at the Robinson Grand. This will be our 4th year. It'll be November 10th. It's a $40,000 grand prize and a $10,000 cash prize. It's another way of working with small businesses and entrepreneurs.
Can we get a list of those?
Oh, sure.
businesses that you
Yes.
just mentioned?
Yep, sure can. I can give you details of all of this. I'm just trying to do
Okay.
a summary. So,
Okay.
our entrepreneur workshops, we held 4 of those last year. We bounced around the county, Salem, Bridgeport, Clarksburg. Those are in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce, the Secretary of State's office, the Small Business Administration, Pierpont, local banks, Microloans of West Virginia. These were all-day events that we held for any business can come in throughout the day. And we worked with them on business plans, any assistance they need, tax, financial assistance. Some of our other areas of focus for economic development. Luis and I both participate in other organizations that provide resources as much as possible. We try to do our county tour, and that's meeting at any municipality, going to their city council meetings, their community meetings to provide resources. Some of the communities, very limited staff, very limited funding. So they're not going to be able to attend a lot of things that we do, so we end up going to them. I also chair the Chamber of Commerce. So in addition to that, I chair the Mid-Atlantic Aerospace Complex and also the I-79 Planning Group. And that's a multi-county group formed years ago in the 90s. Kathy Wagner, who's the president of the Chamber of Commerce, revived that about 6 or 7 years ago. And that includes utilities, educational institutions, the counties that are all along I-79. And if you see I-79 is like a Main Street program. This group acts as a Main Street program for 79 corridor.
When do they meet?
Quarterly, they should be meeting more often, but the topics right now are workforce development, sites, and what's our third? Housing. Those are our 3 goals. Those include Preston, Mon, Marion, Harrison, Lewis, with the representatives, again, from the
Representatives
utilities.
from the county?
From each of the counties, yes.
Okay.
Also
Who's
serve,
ours?
I'm sorry,
Who's ours?
we have several from Harrison County.
But I mean, do you have anybody from the nobody from the commission?
No, not from the commission.
All just business people? Is that all? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome to attend, all 3 of you, if you'd like to. We'd love to have you.
I didn't even know it existed.
It's gone through maybe a 3 or 4 name change throughout the
Okay.
years, but yeah. And the goal was really to market that corridor. Again, a Main Street program, market it, and then we had to narrow it down what our 3 goals would be. Each county is going to be a little different, but the 3 that were most in common were the workforce, the housing, and the sites. Also serve on the Economic Alliance Corporation, which is the economic tool that we use for funding. This can be used for anybody. So any small business you have, large business, that they're looking for up to $250,000 for a loan, a high-risk loan, please send them to the Alliance. Healthy Harrison, WVU United Healthcare Center focused on healthy workforce, school programs, podcasts. Most recent project we worked with was the YMCA, the city of Clarksburg. So reviving that, I don't know if you've seen in the news some of the ideas that they have to revive the Y. That was in partnership with Healthy Harrison. I also chair that one. And again, this is turning into a resume. And that's not what I planned. It's just to show you what the 2 of us are able to do. Luis chairs the Uptown Clarksburg or Clarksburg Uptown. He's also the president of the Hispanic Connection. This is the state's first Hispanic event. The first one that they had was 300 in attendance for the first year, up to 1,000 the second year. And this will be his 3rd year as the president for this. It's a great organization, 501c3 here in Clarksburg. He's also, like I said, responsible for the property inventory and corresponds directly with the state of West Virginia. We are linked to their website. So any of the sites that we have with their requirements, because they do have a minimum of square footage and acreage. We do not. So we will have anything within our inventory. But the larger ones that meet their requirements, we are linked with their website. We provide the updates to the municipalities. We're also working with the development authorities, so we're pleased to see that they are willing to start with an annual meeting. We welcome this from anybody. We are pleased to be able to work with the Development Authority for Harrison County. We work closely with the State Development Authority. We actually have a couple projects with the state of West Virginia. We would love to see economic development in every single municipality because it does take a team to do this. So are there any questions?
So exciting.
It was a lot of information. I'm sorry, but I can give you a detailed list of all of this. I think I tried to narrow down my 6 pages to those 3.
See what you got.
All right, thank you.
And you sent me some information that I requested and I need to follow up on that too. So, thank you. Okay, so there's nothing to be done on 16. We will move on to number 17, review, discuss, consider a resolution authorizing the acceptance of funds from the West Virginia Department of Agriculture for spay and neuter, West Virginia Spay and Neuter Assistance Program. What's the pleasure?
Motion to approve the acceptance.
Sign the resolution. And the president signed the resolution. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, oh, do you want to speak to that? Okay. Okay. Well, I still have the same question that I had yesterday. Did you get any information on that? Okay. But that's on the next one, I think. Number 18. Review, discuss, consider a resolution authorizing the filing of the application for funds from the Rails to Trails Conservancy.
That's a $25,000 grant we'll be submitting for signage on the rail trails. Mile markers, wayfinding, and interpretive signage. So
Dresses around that.
there's not.
No, why are you even in front of us? Just keep quiet. Why is this even on the agenda?
Well, I mean, I just have a question. Committing sufficient workforce to operate, actually, I probably wouldn't have noticed this if somebody didn't ask me about it. Committing sufficient workforce to operate and manage all equipment and other items requested. I emailed Kim because I asked you and just a little confused if this is for signage. What's it have to do with the equipment? Somebody,
I think that's just part of the grant lingo, the verbiage to put up the signs.
okay, okay,
Again, I'm asking the question. Why?
because we have to sign it.
So some of the grants require it to come in front of the commission for signature before you can even apply. That's why.
We're still meeting deadlines. Some of the grants, example, state grants we did, like Big Corrections, GRI, you had to include the resolutions in those grant applications. But we're not missing any
I see
deadlines.
this as a compliment. I've been doing this for a long time.
Okay.
The energy you're bringing.
Well, it's a team effort, but I'm getting a lot of things from people like Kim, Cass.
Keep going. And Mark, keep
Keep it coming.
We're trying.
going. There's
Okay.
money out there.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. Number 18. Well, did you get your answer, Damien? Okay. A resolution authorizing the filing of the application for funds from, that's what we already did that one. 19. Review, discuss, consider a resolution authorizing the filing of the application to the Cultural Foundation of Harrison County for Harrison County Parks and Recreation.
The Cultural Foundation is $1,000 grants in fall. Parks and Rec has already has things established and it's growing. I talked to Michelle Rowe this morning. A Storybook Renaissance Fairy Fall Festival. And right now it's getting quite large. So $1,000 we'd offset costs.
Okay.
Again, keep rolling. Motion approved.
Motion to approve and president to sign the resolution. Correct?
I love it.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Still gotta get through the motion.
I'm excited. Can you get the parking lot back?
Okay, number 21, review, discuss, consider a resolution authorizing the filing of the application to Hope Gas, Inc. for Harrison County Parks and Recreation.
Motion approved the signature.
Motion to approve resolution and a fixed signature. You may speak if you.
Yeah, that is we're going to request approximately $10,000. June through October, they'll have Wednesday, children programs, Wednesday night parks. So after, in the summertime, after the day programs or the Locust Heights train runs, there'll be some activities there, bridge that gap for families and children.
That's good to get involved with them. Great. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Laura. Administrators report.
I believe we have one more.
About 20.
21, the one for Hope Gas.
We just did.
I think-
Oh, Dix,
I
we
think
missed
we're-
Dix. I missed Dix. A A resolution authorizing the filing of the application to Dick's Sporting Goods, Inc. for Harrison County Parks and Recreation. Motion to approve and affix the appropriate signature. Any discussion?
That would be, in Harrison County Parks and Rec, to keep us busy. They have established a rec league for flag football, for those children under the age of 15, that would be to, have equipment.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Now, number 22.
Don't have anything for today.
Okay. There's nothing. I have a couple questions. There was a letter that went to the softball league about the batting cage. Who directed that letter to go?
So it was a conversation between myself, Trey, and Commissioner Hinkle did bring it to our attention.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. As you can see, he directed the letter and I don't believe either one of us knew about that, but okay. Now,
May I add, I've talked to Trey about this, whether it was to come before the commission or not, and we talked about with the lease that it was under. that I
it's
could
still
say-
nice if we knew what was going on. That's my only point, please. And another issue along the same lines, the gravel for the trail. My understanding is that we are not allowed to purchase gravel. And my understanding is it's the last base to put on because we can't purchase it here in Harrison County. So they're not allowing them to go somewhere else to purchase the gravel. And that was instituted by somebody as well, I believe. I'd just like to know if that's the case.
I don't think that that's the case. The only thing that I told Danny was about, there are certain sections to not really tear up and do, since we're having Thrasher go out to bid for those. But I talked to Danny and he was supposed to call you and straighten all that out, because he said that that was not correct.
That's not the information I got.
From Danny?
Mhm. He's
Okay,
not
I'll
allowed
follow
to
up.
purchase it from Elkins, so, and we can't get it here. And we can't finish the rail trail, you can't put can't finish them, maintaining them unless you have that last layer. And we buy a lot of stuff from Amazon, we buy a lot of other things from out of county. And I'm all about local, but when you need something like that, you need it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that.
Okay,
because
well, you
we
might
got it
wanna-
all last year.
You might want to look into that, so please. Mr. Treecost?
I wish Russ was still here. I'm so excited about you all, Kim, Michelle, Russ. I've said for years, and all I'm saying is when maybe we've missed. And there's reason we've missed is because we didn't ask. Just ask, but scripture, keep knocking, finally, somebody will say, hey, fine, get rid of you. It's become the pest that everybody wants to get rid of, so just give the stuff. I got motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?